Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with our F1 2021 GP challenges, this time around here in Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Yes, just 4 races to go of the F1 2021 calendar, and today we're going to be doing a last to first as Lewis Hamilton, or a last to question mark, sorry, even I should say. Of course, at the time of recording this, I haven't actually heard about any official confirmation yet as to the DRS incident that seems to have happened between Hamilton, but seemingly between Max Verstappen as well. It's all sort of very confusing at the time of recording this, but I wanted to do it as Lewis Hamilton anyway. You know, he's had a couple of decent races here at Interlagos in the past, plus I feel like so many of the last question marks we've done recently have been in the Red Bull cars as well. You know, Hamilton's got to come from behind in the World Championship now, 19 points the gap to Max Verstappen with just 4 rounds to go. Still definitely possible for Lewis, but it's going to be a very, very tall order nonetheless. But yeah, excited though heading into the Brazilian Grand Prix. You know, we got sprint qualifying that obviously went on last night. Again, this is before I've recorded that, so obviously that hasn't happened yet in real life, so yeah, it's all a bit confusing. But of course we've got the Brazilian Grand Prix tonight by the time you guys are watching this video as well there. Let me know your top 3 predictions for the race tonight. Obviously it's going to be an interesting one, I think, from Interlagos. I don't know why, I've just got a good feeling for it as well there. But having a look though at our starting grid ready for this GP though, like we said, Max Verstappen starting on the pole ahead of Valtteri Bottas there, 3/10 between those two, with Sergio Perez on the second row there alongside Lando Norris, if I'm not mistaken. There we go, Lando Norris in P4. Charles Leclerc splitting the McLarens in 5th ahead of Ricciardo there, with Sainz and Alonso, the 2 Spaniards, on row 4. Gasly and Ocon, the 2 Frenchmen, on row 5 ahead of Vettel and Yuki Tsunoda 11th and 12th there. Stroll ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Then we've got Giovinazzi and George Russell. Mick Schumacher gets ahead of Latifi, and then of course Mazepin and ourselves, Lewis Hamilton, on the back row of the grid here. Going to be an exciting one, this one. Make sure you let me know down in the comments below where you think we'll finish this last question mark challenge as well. But yeah, fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy, and let's head down trackside then here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Interlagos. Of course, an iconic circuit in the Formula 1 world. Maybe today we're going to have another iconic race, of course. This is being recorded before anything has been said about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen's penalties or what's going to be happening there. So there's a little bit of uncertainty heading into this, but I thought a last question mark as Hamilton might become a reality for the Grand Prix nonetheless. But fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy at the start. We're going to go for the alternate tyre strategy as well here, and yeah, let's just see what we can do then. Starting from the back, let me know down in the comments below where you think we'll finish. 5 red lights, and it is going to be a very long hold, but lights out and away we go. Actually responding pretty well there to the lights as we head up the hill in towards turn 1. We'll try and just sneak past Mick Schumacher in his Haas, who apparently is just going to give us no room whatsoever through turn 1. And we get a warning for a collision there. I mean, we sent it, but it definitely felt like we made it pretty clear by the time we got to the apex that we were on the inside of Mick. In fact, I'm pretty certain our front wheels were in front of his. So yeah, not too sure what that was all about as we tried to have a look around the outside of Latifi. Still, he was trying to keep the nose there. We're running quite high air around this track, just trying to make sure we've got enough sticking power through the middle sector. And that's exactly why, just the up and under on young Mick this time around. He's definitely aware we're on the inside there, so just trying to ease the car in at the start of this race, build up some tyre temperature, everything like that. Should be able to get a run on the exit in the corner, and that should be the move pretty much decided now as up the inside we go. And over to P17 straight off the start here. Big wash of understeer in the wake of George Russell as we head through the final corner. Looks like it is still Verstappen that leads ahead of Bottas and Sergio Perez here, so a pretty decent start for all the front runners. Doesn't seem to look to be too many people out of place, obviously excluding ourselves, as well. Look round the outside of George Russell here as we head back up towards turn 1. Are we going to be able to find the room? Not particularly confident on the brakes at the start here, but we do get around the outside through the centre S. Have the inside for the next part. Oh, big kick of oversteer there. Our future teammate still there on the inside then as we head down in towards the Escudo de Lago. Is George Russell going to be able to get the run here? We've got Mick Schumacher trying to get back involved as well. Almost 3 wide there for a brief moment, I think, as we head down the hill. But this is a really good battle with George Russell, but not really what I want to be having at this stage of the day. Having to use a lot of battery just try and keep ourselves there, but up the inside we go, and finally I'm at a P16 at the start of this race. Good thing about Sector 2 here, of course, is the fact you can actually save a lot of ERS to kick your way out of the final couple of corners here out of Zhejiang back until the start-finish line, closing up to Italian Jesus. Up the inside we go. No, Gio having none of that. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but we both live to fight another day. A run now on Giovinazzi, really struggling, I'll be honest, early on in this GP to sort of find the rhythm, find the momentum around a lot of these other cars.
You'll be on the softs.
Trying to get the one, Gio. That one was a lot more aggressive. Certainly made it very clear we were going for the send that time round. Well, I'm going to P15 now as Kimi Raikkonen up next. But yeah, we are going to pit probably end of lap 7. Move on to a set of the soft compound tyres. Then, of course, yeah, we should be able to fly through a lot more of the runners. Kimi Raikkonen, of course, an old foe here of Hamilton's at Interlagos, famously all the way back in 2007, which is a worryingly long time ago now. It makes me start to feel rather old as well, but around the outside of Kimi, got a lot more momentum this time, no DRS to defend himself with.
0.2 seconds.
Just about get the car slowed down around the outside there, and now up at 14th. Next up, both Aston Martins. It's very much 2x2 outside of the top 10. There's a little bit more of a mix-up, though, when you look up into the points there, as Bottas and Max still duking it out for the lead. Around in the final corner then, to come to the end of lap 7, all over the back of Sir Lancelot, but of course we're going to dive it in and box now. Don't think, none of the AI in front of us have pitted in, so we are coming in rather early on these mediums. Making sure we get the car slowed down all nice and tidily. But yeah, that was a pretty good first stint then. Feel like we were, right up with the points. As why not the team changing the wing? Well, that's going to set us back even further than in this Grand Prix. A lovely 9-second pit stop to add to our troubles, so yeah, now the battle might be to try and score points here. As why on earth did they change the front wing? Did we pick up damage with that contact with Gio? Or would it Schumacher?
Stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Either way, yeah, thought we got away scot-free. Certainly hadn't noticed any issues with the front end there as we skimmed the barrier on the exit, the pits as well. But now we've got to get our head down and focus. Immediately purple through sector 2, but still none of the AI into the pits there, so they are definitely trying to extend that stint a lot longer, as we've taken 3 seconds out of the Haas cars already on this lap. There we go, end of lap 9, crossing over the halfway stage. We've got our first couple of guys into the pits. Fernando Alonso and one of the McLarens have just come back out, as that's going to be a new fast lap of the race for us.
This lap of the race, keep this up.
So nice to know we are flying a bit more, as how far ahead of us is Alonso going to emerge? It's going to be a good sort of 6 seconds still. So we would have been right with him had we not had the front wing change. So points definitely still on the table. Out of the final corner, Alonso starting to get slowed up by the back markers. It looks like Mazepin's going to stay out for another lap there. So Alonso, no, he's moved past him anyway. As we should be able to come out right sort of with that gaggle of cars that was battling for 10th place. Back down through turn 1. Where are we going to come out? We can see quite a few cars filing out of the pit lane. So we try and put the power down. There's Pierre Gasly on a set of hard compound tyres. So not quite sure what AlphaTauri have got planned. Let's try and get to the end of this. But Gasly, yeah, surely going to be mighty vulnerable. Let's look at this from Gasly. So slow on this set of tyres. Of course, Hamilton and Pierre had a titanic battle at the end of the last time we were here. But I think this one's going to be a little bit more one-sided, I'll be honest, as we head down the hill. Look at that. The AlphaTauri having to lift out of the throttle, and up the inside we go into Zhejiang. And it's not going to be the drag race up to the flag. We are going to get straight past Pierre, as we're going to see a lot more into the pits as well. Should be able to move past the Alfa Romeo. I'm not too sure which one that one is. And of course Mazepin and Latifi here. So as we head back up towards over the start-finish line.
11.8 seconds.
Should see a lot of these guys filing through turn 1 there as we get all that shape through the centre S. Come on, put the power down. We're to 9th though. So definitely can get Alonso and Sainz here. But are we going to be able to battle the McLarens? No, Charles Leclerc going slowly. It is Ferrari, so we're immediately going to get promoted to 8th then. And poor Charles Leclerc's looped it round. I thought that was an engine failure, but Charles got on the power far too early by himself. And now this quickly becomes a battle for 6th. Here we go, battle of the Spaniards. And we're going to try and get involved here as Alonso trying to defend from the much faster Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Around the outside of Carlos we go. No chance we were getting any room there. Carlos Sainz watching us try and find some room, but certainly, yeah, nothing was ever going to be possible there as we head through the S's. Just nowhere really to overtake. Could think about a send, but I'm sure Albon will get some PTSD if we watch that. We head down the hill though in towards Zhejiang. The Alpine and the Ferrari both looking a bit vulnerable Are we going to be able to potentially get a bit of a slingshot on Carlos at the
There's
final
5
proper
laps of
corner?
fuel remaining.
Get a nice run out of Jung Sao here, and look at that, the Ferrari, yeah, not using much of his battery. So we'll switch back to the inside. There's Carlos Sainz trying to get very, very feisty. We have to completely deploy the battery as we head back down towards turn 1. And Alonso moving around there. We had to move in front of Carlos Sainz to risk going into the back of the Alpine as we head through turn 1 and turn 2 here. But we've got past one of them. And look at the grunt we've got on the exit of the turn there. Up into P6 now of this Brazilian Grand Prix. And Daniel Ricciardo, 6 seconds up the road. 5 laps to go. Is that gap going to be catchable? As there's a big battle starting to churn up for P3. Lando versus Perez. 2 laps to go here from Interlagos, and the gap to Daniel Ricciardo down to just 2 seconds. So we are certainly taking a lot of time out of the Australian. But is it going to be enough before the end of this race? I think if we want any chance, we're going to need to try and get DRS on him by the end of this lap. 1 more lap to go then here from Brazil, and we've taken just over another second out of Ricciardo, but we've still got 1.3 to try and close up to the Australian on this final lap. So we have to really, really attack the curbs. Give it everything it's got here as we head out of the centre S there. Are we going to be able to try and do anything? We need to try and save a little bit of battery as well, obviously, to try and get the run out of Jung Sao back up to the start-finish line here, because it could be a drag race to the flag. Mercedes Valve versus Mercedes Power, though. And, of course, the McLaren pretty slippery down the straights as well. But it's through the twisty bits, of course, we take a lot of time at Daniel Ricciardo there. You can see really trying to open up the track with using the curbs where we can, and just trying to make sure we get no wheel spin, no dramatics there. The back end squirreling around behind us. But it is through this middle sector, like I said, that we really do gain a lot of the time as we head down the hill for the final time here in Sao Paulo. Are we going to be able to get a run there? Max Verstappen is going to win here in Interlagos, but we've just got to drain the battery to the line. The gap's still 0.8 of a second, though. I'm not optimistic we're going to get close enough in the end there. And had we not had that front wing change, maybe a podium would have been doable. But it's only P6.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Another superb Brazilian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Max Verstappen takes home the dub ahead of Valtteri Bottas there. Lando Norris, a good podium for McLaren with Perez, Ricciardo, myself from last to 6th. In the end, they're up 14 spots with the fastest lap of the day as well. They're by almost a second, actually, ahead of Bottas and Verstappen there. Alonso and Carlos Sainz in 7th and 8th ahead of Gasly and Tsunoda there. So AlphaTauri with a double points finish at the end of the race. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Fingers crossed the real-life Brazilian Grand Prix is exciting as that as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with another F1 2021 video. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters. So a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estacios, Cato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Tazief, William, and Nanon for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured at the end of all these videos, make sure you just click the join button down below.